Hello and welcome to the latest instalment in my Bass Lick of the Week series. Before we dive into this week's bass groove, please like the video, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Okay, so as you'll have seen, this week's bass groove is a fairly aggressive line using the strumming technique with a fairly complex slap bass fill in the fourth bar. So there's loads here for you to get your teeth into. Okay, so our first bar is going to sound like this. Let's break apart what's happening there. First of all, we're going to be strumming an A power chord. So we've got the open A string, and then we've got the E and the A, both at the second frets of the D and G strings respectively. And when I'm strumming this A power chord, my thumb automatically comes in over the top here just to stop that low E string ringing. I've talked about this in several of the previous bass lick exercises, and it's a really good idea when you're playing aggressive things like that, using open strings to control that low E string if you're not using it, because if left to its own devices, it will just hum away in the background, and it's going to make everything sound really muddy. So we need to control that low E. Okay, so in terms of the what's happening rhythmically, we've got a sort of a dotted eighth note, 16th note, so a long and a short note effectively on that first beat. And then we're going to move into some ghost notes on the second beat. So just choke all of the notes off, and we're carrying on with the strumming as we did before. After the ghost notes, we're going to play this kind of double stop thing. This is giving us the some notes from an A7 chord, so really reinforcing the kind of A dominant 7 harmony that we have in the background. We just had a power chord to begin with, root 5 an octave, but these notes are giving us the third and the 7th. We'll talk about those in just a minute. Let's play it first of all. We're going to be barring across the 5th fret with the first finger there, frets. So notes are going to be G and C, and you're going to let that C hammer on to the C sharp. Now what you get here is the G and the C sharp. That gives us the minor 7th and the major 3rd of this A7 kind of a sound. It's this chord voicing really for A7, which will be A, G and C sharp. Move it down an octave, take off that low note, which has got these upper two. Now it's not written with the open A string ringing at that point, just to kind of keep it nice and clean. But if the open A string does hum a little bit whilst you're doing that, that's certainly not going to be the end of the world, because that's very much the root note of what we're doing here. Okay, then we're going to strum that again, play a couple of ghost notes, and then we're going to come back down onto that power chord. 2 strums followed by 2 ghost notes. That's beat 4. Really worth just cycling that first bar round and round until you get really comfortable with it. Now the strumming technique, if you've not used this before, you can probably already see what I'm doing, but I'm flicking downwards with the fingers of my picking hand. So the fingernails are striking the strings, giving it that bite. And then I'm playing again on the upstroke, so just allowing the pads of the fingers to strike the strings. That kind of thing. That's the strumming technique that I'm using here. And as I said, it's worth just working on that first bar to begin with. Now the second bar is almost identical to what we've done in the first. We're just going to take that figure that we had on the fourth beat, and we're just going to play it up an octave. And we're going to be leaving the open A out of the equation here, and just playing the E and the A notes, 14th fret. But again, if the open A string rings a little bit in the background whilst you're doing this, it's certainly not the end of the world. We're just sometimes limiting it to just 2 notes, just to keep the line as clear as possible. When we play chordal things on the bass, there is always a danger of things getting a bit muddy. And at the points where I'm just using 2 notes, it's really just to try and keep things as clean as possible. The tonality is really well kind of presented anyway, with that open A being aggressively used in the rest of the line. So sometimes we can step back and just play a couple of notes rather than all 3. Okay, the third bar is going to be pretty much the same as the first. One small change at the end of the third bar, there, at the end of the fourth beat, I should say. Whereas in the first bar, we did 2 chords and then 2 strums. At this point, we're just going to play 2 chords. And that's really just to give us time to move our hand upwards so we can get into that fill that we're going to be playing in the fourth bar. So bar number 3, pretty much the same as bar 1, just minus the ghost notes at the end. Then we're going to move up to this middle fret position, 7th fret position for the lick that we're going to close the exercise with. And the lick is going to begin like this. Now this phrase is played all on beat 1. And we're using a pitched fretting hand slap here, which we'll come to in just a moment. First of all, we're going to be popping the D at the 7th fret of the G string. And I recommend fretting that with your 4th finger. We're then going to slide upwards to an E flat, back to the D, and then we're going to pull off to the C, which you can fret with your 1st finger. We're then going to bring the 4th finger in to play a pitched fretting hand slap. That's going to be the A at the 7th fret of the D string. So the first 3 notes are played as a 16th note triplet. So they're going to go by fairly quickly. Now, in terms of where these notes have come from, we're thinking about the A blues scale at this point. So A, C, D, E flat, that's the blue note, E, G, and A. So really exploiting the sound of that blue note there in that lick. That's the first beat of the bar. In the second beat, we're playing straight 16ths here. So we're going to pop the C at the beginning of the beat, come down onto the A on the D string, pull off to the G, and then we're going to play a pitched fretting hand slap on the E, 7th fret of the A string. So again, we only play the string once with the picking hand. Sorry, twice. And then the remaining notes are generated with the pull-off and the pitched fretting hand slap. That's the first couple of beats. We're then going to play same kind of thing. We're popping the G now, 5th fret of the D string. We come down and slap the E, 7th fret of the A string. And then we're going to play a double pull-off. So down onto the E flat, 6th fret, and then down onto the D. And then to finish off on beat 4, got a ghost note with the thumb, and then a C natural down here at the 3rd fret. It's a very complex line, and you're going to need to practice this slowly to begin with. When you're practicing it slowly, as I'm talking about here, you want to really concentrate on the clarity of the line as well, and just make sure you're doing everything that you possibly can to stop things humming that you don't want humming. Lines like this are really effective if they're played, executed really cleanly. If they become really muddy, sort of not worth doing it really. So you need to really focus on the clarity and do that at a slow tempo and gradually build up the speed. Okay, there you go. A very challenging bass lick of the week this week. Chordal line that's, as I said before, something for you to get your teeth into. Thanks for checking out the latest instalment in my Bass Lick of the Week series. If you'd like to download the PDF worksheet and audio files for this exercise, just click on the link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this lesson, please head over to basslinepublishing.com to check out my full range of video courses. Okay, I'll see you next week for another bass groove.